I got a message the other day from a loyal watcher of the Zen Watercooler YouTube channel, and they asked, I see videos on YouTube where I'm told I can make $100 a day, $500 a day, even $700 a day on Redbubble. Is this possible? I am making nowhere near that much. I'm lucky if I get a sale a week. Am I doing something wrong? So my heart breaks a little bit when I see this sort of thing, because print on demand should be fun, and part of the fun is making some money. But I think it's important to set realistic expectations when working in the print on demand industry. So in this video, I'm going to break down how much you can possibly make and how much you will probably make. So let's go. So it's never a good sign when I open up a YouTube video with a standard deviation bell curve. So my whole mission here is that everybody stays awake here throughout this math-related YouTube video. I'm just kidding, of course. Obviously, I'll try to make this as entertaining as possible. But I do want to point out, this is just what's known as a bell curve. And the idea is you've got people at one end of the bell curve, and you've got people at the other end of the bell curve. And most of us are kind of stuck here in the middle, okay? So as I talk about the beginners and the intermediates and the experts, I'm going to be using some broad strokes, and I'm certainly not trying to be stereotypical or trying to reduce somebody to a caricature, but I do want to point out that there are some things that we can do to help move us into the middle, at least, to have a fighting chance to make some decent sales. Okay, the first type of person at the first end of that bell curve is a beginner or a hobby artist. So what tends to happen is you're not going to have many designs on Redbubble. I get emails from people that say, I've been on Redbubble for a month. I haven't made any sales yet. I've got 8 designs. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. And it's like, well, you're competing with people that have 4,000 or 3,000 designs up on Redbubble. So you have to kind of temper your expectations. Another thing that sort of characterizes beginners or hobby artists is that their artwork is relatively bland. And again, that's not a bad thing. I don't want to put down somebody's art, but if you're not making sales, you may want to look at a couple of my videos called Why Your Designs Suck. And basically I go through and I try to be relatively picky on why your artwork could be better. Another big reason is that you might be stuck in niches that are competitive. So if you're looking for New York designs or funny designs, or my favorite, funny cat designs. I mean, I love funny cat designs, but I'm not quitting my job anytime soon because it's way too competitive a niche. And I just simply won't make sales no matter how good my designs are. So if you're in this, if this describes you, then realistically, you're going to make 0 sales a month, maybe 5 sales a month. That's 1 sale a week. So keep in mind, if you're selling a sticker, like that's a sale, you might make 35 cents. So 5 sales might be $5 a week, $4 a week. It's not much money. It's a far cry from the $100 a month, the $700 a month, the $700 a day that I've seen a couple of YouTube videos promising, or at least saying is possible. And it's like, man, I don't know about that. I'm not making Bill Gates money here on Redbubble. So the next type of person that we're going to talk about here is in the middle of that bell curve. The intermediate person, or the person that's at least trying to move forward. And they might be doing that by watching videos like this. They might be taking an art class. They might be learning how to use Photoshop. Typically, they're dedicated upload. Now look, I don't want you to get hung up on the 1,000 designs. If you've got 900 designs or 800 designs and you're making sales, great. But for most people, you need a lot of designs, whatever a lot means. What's the level of your artwork? You may want to look at your artwork and say, is there ways I can get better? And chances are, if you're making a sale here and there, you found at least one low competition niche. So keep in mind, even if you do all of this, you still might be making 0 sales a month. But let's pretend that you've done all of these things correctly and you've, most importantly, found a low competition niche. You might be making, say, 20 sales a month on Redbubble or any of the print-on-demand sites. And if that's the case, you might be making, say, $10, $20. Maybe your monthly check from Redbubble is even $50, even $100 a month. Again, it's a far cry from $100 a day. Some of these people on YouTube are saying is possible. It is possible, at least to make some decent money. Now, I'm not going to ever promise $700 a day. I mean, good grief. But I will jump in and say you can move ultimately to this arena, which is the expert arena, the domination arena. So what happens with this? What does this actually look like? Well, you'd have a lot of designs. So you'd be picking a niche and you would be dominating that niche with so many designs that when someone does a keyword search, they find your designs and mostly your designs. You would have artwork that is superior, at least at the very least above average, and possibly at the high end, so that people are blown away by your artwork. Now look, it doesn't need to be Michelangelo, but it would need to have no spelling mistakes, properly centered. You're probably using little tips and tricks that I've used in the other videos about how you can make your artwork really stand out. And most importantly, you've found multiple low competition niches. So one idea is that you may want to open up multiple stores, not necessarily just on Redbubble, but maybe your Redbubble store does funny designs. Maybe your TeePublic store does political designs. Maybe your Society6 store does location designs, sports designs, whatever it may be. Now, if you do all of this, the goal is to make at least one sale a day. So is it possible to make at least one sale a day, every day, or 7 sales a week, or 30 or more sales a month? It is possible. So what does that actually look like? Is it possible to make $100 per day in print on demand? So I'm going to pull this back a level and say, okay, forget about Redbubble for a second. Is it possible to make $100 a day across all the platforms, all the print on demand platforms? And it is. It is possible. Is it probable? I don't know. I don't know your artistic skill. I don't know how much time and energy you want to dedicate to this. But the first thing I would suggest is you may want to try multiple platforms. So again, that means things like Redbubble, TeePublic, Merch by Amazon. You might want to do Society6. And a big one, which is often overlooked, is setting up your own Printful account and selling through your own website. You could sell on eBay. That's free. Unless, of course, you make a sale, you got to pay a fee. It's also free to use Launchcart. Again, you would only pay a fee if you sell something through Launchcart. So using this, notice there's 5 different platforms, and I just use these at random. You could use Displate, Zazzle. There's all sorts of different print-on-demand sites. But if you did this and you made $20 a day on each of these platforms, you could make $100 a day. It's possible. However, it is highly unlikely unless you dedicate a ton of time and energy, or you find a couple low competition niches. And again, those are not necessarily mutually exclusive. You can work really, really hard and you could find low competition niches. Last little tip here I've got is what I call watering the plants. So here's just a little visual. Here we've got the different print-on-demand platforms down at the bottom. I just picked 4 at random. A big one, for example, would be Merch by Amazon. So if you're getting most of your sales through merch, spend most of your time in merch. If you're getting most of your sales in Redbubble, spend most of your time in Redbubble. Okay? It's what I call watering the flowers. Whatever is growing, that's where you want to spend the most time. Now, don't put all of your eggs into one basket. I'm totally mixing metaphors here between the flowers and the eggs. But what you'd want to do is at least spend some time on each of these platforms and grow them over time. I hope you found that helpful. Nice little walkthrough here on how you could make $100 a day. So if you want, throw down in the comments section how much you're making, if you so choose, and we can have a discussion as a group if you are so inclined. I hope you found this video helpful, and hey, the sky really is your limit. That's one of the nice things is you never know when you're going to make a big sale. Might be right around the corner. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Take care.